In the mystical realm of interactive storytelling and the pixelated landscapes of the late 1980s, a young creator embarked on a quest to craft a game that would etch its mark upon the tapestry of gaming history. This is the tale of the creation of the Prince of Persia and its journey through time, a story as intricately woven as the game's own legendary levels. Once upon a time, during the golden age of arcade machines and the birth of home console entertainment, there lived a young developer named Jordan Mechner. An alumnus of Yale University with a degree in psychology, Mechner's true passion lay in the blossoming field of computer games. His first success was Karateka, released in 1984, a game that stood out for its fluid animation and cinematic storytelling, aspects that would become the signature of Mechner's work. Yet, beyond the accolades and the proud place on the game store shelves, Mechner dreamed of something grander, a game that would push the boundaries of what was technically possible and narratively imaginative. Thus began the odyssey of the Prince of Persia, an idea born out of Mechner's fascination with Persian mythology, the epic tales from 1001 Nights, and the swashbuckling allure of Hollywood classics such as The Adventures of Robin Hood. He envisioned a game where players would navigate a treacherous palace filled with traps and enemies on a quest to save a princess. Mechner's approach to game development was akin to that of a filmmaker. He yearned for the animations of his characters to be as fluid and realistic as possible, a tall order for the 8 and 16-bit processors of the time. Fate presented a solution through the magic of rotoscoping, an animation technique used by the likes of Walt Disney, which involved tracing over motion picture footage, frame by frame, to capture realistic human movements. Mechner enlisted the help of his brother, David, who was filmed performing leaps, lunges, and bounds in white clothes against a dark background. Jordan then painstakingly rotoscoped the footage on his Apple II computer, breathing life into the titular prince, a silhouette bursting with the fluidity of human motion. The development of Prince of Persia was a Herculean task strewn with obstacles. Storage space on floppy disks was limited, and the Apple II's hardware, by today's standards, was rudimentary. Every kilobyte was precious, every line of code a commitment. Mechner's journals from those days echoed the trials and tribulations of a developer determined to see his vision come to fruition, a testament to the battle between the limitations of technology and the boundlessness of creativity. The prince's story was simple yet compelling, a brave hero, a damsel in distress, a vile vizier, and the sands of time. But Mechner infused it with an elegance that transcended the trope. The game began with a timer set to 60 minutes, the time our hero had to complete his quest before the princess would be forced to marry the treacherous vizier, Jafar. The clock ticked relentlessly, mirroring the heartbeats of players who leaped and fought their way through the palace's dungeons. The setting was a character in its own right, a labyrinthine palace filled with spike traps, crumbling ledges, and guarded passages. It was a place of beauty and terror, with white marble corridors and deadly dungeons, each level built upon the last, creating a symphony of platforming challenges that required precision and patience. Prince of Persia was more than a game, it was an expression of artistry. Its levels were meticulously designed, each room a puzzle that demanded both cerebral and digital dexterity. The sword fights required rhythm and timing rather than brute force, a dance of death with foes who were as cunning and dangerous as the traps that filled the palace. But it wasn't just the gameplay that made Prince of Persia revolutionary, it was the story, one that unfurled with each leap and bound. The game cast a spell over those who played it, transporting them to a world of myth and legend, where every action, every choice mattered. With no dialogue or cutscenes, the narrative was told through the environment and the urgency of the mission. Save the princess before time runs out. After 4 grueling years, in 1989, Prince of Persia was unveiled to the world, an opus of 2D platforming, a silent film in the age of video games. It was released on the Apple II, and though this platform was nearing the end of its commercial life, the game's brilliance could not be contained. It spread across the globe, ported to almost every system imaginable, from the Amiga to the Sega Genesis, from the NES to the Game Boy. The game's release did not summon immediate fanfare. It was a slow burn, a sleeper hit that amassed its following through word of mouth and the sheer force of its innovation. As Prince of Persia gained momentum, so too did its legend grow. It received critical acclaim for its animation, its gameplay, its relentless challenge, and its dramatic storytelling. Prince of Persia became more than a game, it became a cultural touchstone, influencing a generation of games that followed. It set the stage for cinematic platformers and inspired creators who would go on to develop their own masterpieces. It was a reminder of the power of storytelling in games, of the potential for this medium to craft narratives as deep and enduring as any film or novel. Jordan Mechner had succeeded in his quest. He had created a game that stood the test of time, much like the sands within the hourglass of his story. In later years, the franchise would be reborn in 3D with Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, a title that paid homage to its roots while reinventing the formula for a new era. The legacy of the Prince of Persia would live on, not only in sequels and spin-offs, but in the hearts of those who had, for 60 minutes or more, lived another life in a distant pixelated Persia. The story of Prince of Persia is one of a triumph of vision over limitation, of the artistry within the code. Its creation was a monumental chapter in the annals of gaming, a tale of passion and perseverance, and as the industry continues to evolve, the Prince's journey serves as a timeless reminder of where it all began and the magic that can be woven when imagination meets the digital canvas. So let us remember the Prince of Persia, not just as a game, but as a story of a young developer's dream, of a prince in a cursed palace, and of a legacy that endures in the hallowed halls of retro gaming history. The prince's acrobatic feats remain a testament to innovation, his battle against time a metaphor for the relentless pursuit of excellence. And as long as there are games, there will be those who look back and whisper of the time when a prince in white roamed the corridors of a palace deep within the silicon chips of an era long past but never forgotten.